Mark Govindasamy is from Bolton, Lancashire in the UK. He flew to South Korea on behalf of his employer on April 5th for a job that was supposed to last 4 to 5 days. And he was told that he'd have to be tested at the airport. And if the test was positive for COVID-19, he'd have to be quarantined. But he felt fine and he had no symptoms. However, after being tested at the airport, he spent the night quarantined in a hotel, but the next day, he was shocked when the results came back positive. He was immediately suited up in protective gear and moved to another location where he tested positive again. As of today, May 6th, he's been in quarantine in South Korea for 33 days. I first spoke with Mark on Wednesday, April 29th. He was looking forward to his next test, hoping it would be negative, but today he was told he tested positive again. I'm so sorry to hear that news, Mark. It's been a long journey for you so far, and you just got results today. So how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. It's not the news I wanted to wake up to be honest. You know, you're a little bit more vulnerable when you first open your eyes in the morning. You know, mentally and physically, you're just a bit tired, aren't you? So to reach for my phone and open it, and the first message was the test was positive. Next test is scheduled for 7 days' time. Not particularly what I wanted to get up to be honest. Not really. But
No.
you know.
Did you call your wife and your family when that happened? Did you just relax and try to absorb it all, or how did you cope with that news?
Yeah, a couple of expletives. Yeah, just lay in my bed for a few moments, just thinking, "Oh well, here we go again," sort of thing. Yeah, I've sent a few messages, but with the time difference, I've not spoken to anybody yet.
So what this means for you, Mark, is you have to now wait another 7 days to get tested again.
Yeah, that's right. 7 days. So the 13th of May now before I even get a chance for a test.
So when you left home, what was it, April 4th? You left home,
Yeah,
arrived on the 5th, and thought you were going to be just gone for a few days.
yeah. I figured I'd be home on the 25th.
The job would
Um,
be over that you were going
yeah,
there for, and you'd head home. So
yeah.
you didn't, yeah, what about your employer? What is your employer saying about all this?
He's fully supportive. Fully supportive. You know, we knew we were going into this job, and when the world was in a bit of an unusual state, so all parties were aware that something could happen. You know, maybe cancelled flights or something. We were all aware of something like that could happen. But no, my employer has been really supportive. I'm in communication with them virtually
Mhm.
every day. Yeah, and they've been really good.
But but while you're testing positive all this time, you feel fine.
Yeah, totally.
So it seems like people who feel fine feel like they should be able to get up, walk around, go wherever they want to go, do whatever they want to do, go to a restaurant, go here, go there, but not in South Korea.
Definitely not in South Korea. No. Yeah. Yeah, I can't do any of those things. I can't step out into the corridor outside my room. I can't even lean out of the window.
So it's like a feeling of being in prison, so to speak, even though you're not in prison. And
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm detained.
you're detained.
I
You
can't leave.
don't get to pick what you eat, right? They choose it for you.
Yep. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
they just send you whatever they want to send you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you eat it. And you have no
That's right.
choice with that. You
Nope.
can't leave your room. You
Nope.
can't stick your head out the window.
Nope. If you put your head out the window, the guards within just a couple of seconds are shouting to tell you to get back inside. Just within seconds.
So is this just for people traveling into the country? If you live there, would you be going through this?
If you tested positive at the airport when you were returning to the country, yes. Yeah, because I do know there is at least one Korean guy here, and he's still here. I know that because he's opposite my room. So occasionally, when I go and get my food tray, I see him collecting his. And I spoke to him on the bus during a transfer very briefly, and he's a Korean guy living in the States.
So you don't feel like you're being treated any differently because of who you are or where you're from. This is just the way it is.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I'm almost 100% certain that that's, you know, anybody who would have tested positive entering the country in the same situation as myself would be in the same situation right now as myself if they were still testing positive. Yeah.
Do you know what the statistics are in South Korea in terms of
Um,
the death rate per million for people who have the virus? Because it is low.
yeah, I'm led to believe it's low. I've looked at a few things, but I'll be honest with you, because I'm totally consumed with this coronavirus situation, I don't really go online and look at the news about what's happening with it because I'd rather watch and listen to something else at the moment because, you know, I'm in the middle of it all. So I don't want to really watch and read any more about it. So
It would just be probably too difficult to deal with all of that bad news on top of what you're going through.
I don't need any more
Probably
negative
a
things.
really good move, Mark. Probably a really good move. So, but I guess I'm curious how much information they're giving you. Are they trying to inform you and communicate with you and keep you up to date, or are they just expecting you to do what you're told?
They're expecting me to do what I'm told. So, for instance, the text message this morning that said, "We're sorry to tell you that the test is positive. Your next test is scheduled in 7 days. Have a good day."
That's it.
That's it. That's it.
Now,
So
what if you wanted to leave and go home right now? Would you be able to do that?
that's not an option.
It's
No,
not an option.
no, nope, nope. Chances are I'll get a hefty fine, and from what I believe, they've just increased the 1 year prison sentence for anybody who goes against the COVID-19 rules to from 1 year to 3 years. So yeah, I can't leave, even if I wanted to. I couldn't leave.
It's a little strange to think that you flew in there not knowing you had the virus, that
Hmm.
you were asymptomatic, you had the virus, you tested positive, you flew in there not knowing that. It seems strange that you can't just fly right back out and go home.
Um, yeah, I think the key thing is now I know I have it, or you know, and the system knows I have it. I can't imagine any airline knowingly wanting somebody on their aircraft with the virus. Okay, it's different when you don't know because you don't know, but now you know, you've got that knowledge. I think you're a bit like a hot potato at this moment.
Yeah. So you're not looking at news. So let me tell you a little something that's going on, and I'd like to hear what you think about it.
Okay.
People are protesting. They want their freedom. They want to be able to go get a haircut. They want to be able to go to a restaurant. They want local governments in the states, anyway, to stop telling them that they have to stay home. Some places don't even have requirements where you have to wear a mask. There's a lot of talk about opening things up and just letting people go and do the things that they want to do, maybe with some limitations, but
Yeah.
they want their freedoms. Many people are opposed to it. Many people think it's way too soon to open up.
Hmm.
I look at those debates and then I see what you're experiencing, and it's hard to imagine that there's such disparity in thinking.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there is. I mean, from what you're saying there, that's a huge gap in what's happening um, where you are and what's happening here. Definitely, it's a huge, huge gap. It's quite clear that's a huge gap.
It's
Yeah,
almost unfathomable. I think people around the world don't know about experiences like yours. They don't know that this is how it's being managed in other places, at least in the United States. They
yeah.
don't know about that. I can't speak for other countries and what kind of news they're getting, but the news about experiences like yours is not out there.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Now, do you watch news there?
Not particularly, no.
None of their
No.
local news. You don't know. You said you were trying to stay away from it, but I'm just wondering what they're saying about it, if you had any idea. Because one of
Yeah.
the things that is happening is that South Korea is starting to be touted as handling this exceptionally well. And there's a mystique around why their numbers are as low as they are. Their death rates are lower. They're at like 5 deaths per million of the population right
Mhm.
now, as of today, versus the United States, which has over 200 deaths per million of the population.
Right. Yeah.
And so, how they're managing it and the amount of testing must be two very key variables.
Yeah, I'm guessing so. I think maybe the speed at which they reacted to the initial, rise of this coronavirus. Maybe, I mean, just a thought which I've had is, the relationship with North Korea. I wonder if they've had a lot of processes in place just in case there may be an attack from North Korea, chemically, biologically. I don't know. It's just a thought I've had, and the reason why they've been able to jump to this so quickly because they're ready for that kind of thing. They've got the processes in place. I wonder. Just something I've thought about.
So, did you have to sign any waivers? Do you have any rights? Could you demand that you be treated differently, or are you obligated based on an agreement that you made when you entered the country to do work?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't signed anything other than normal, immigration control type papers. I haven't signed anything that unusual that I would have signed that I've not signed before. When I've gone to countries working. Um, I'm just very aware that if I try and do anything against what they're asking me to do, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm very, very aware that everything is absolutely fine whilst I'm following these rules and doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But just like the little things like not bagging my garbage up correctly, and I got the warning, putting my head out the window and got ushered inside within seconds by the police. I can see that. If I do anything, it's not going to be good. It won't be good. I know that.
And how familiar are you with the way their government works there? Do you feel that there's any real reason for that other than the fact that they're worried about the virus?
Um, I think they're worried about the virus, but I think um, South Korea and other countries in this region, I think people have the perception that they a little bit more hard-lined. You know what I mean? People respect the authorities a little bit more. Or that's at least the perception I think most people in the West have. Whether I'm right or wrong, I'm not sure, but that's the perception,
Hmm.
I believe. Um,
So you wake up every day, you cannot leave your room, your meals get
no.
brought to you, you have no say in what you eat. They did surprise you this week with a change in routine. I saw that you were not given the typical South Korean meals one day, but rather a bag that looked quite familiar from the fast food world in the UK and in the United States. What was
Yeah.
that like?
I mean, yeah, it was okay. I'm not a massive fan. And as much as in this particular facility, all the meals have been warm. That was the only one that wasn't. That was the only one that didn't turn up warm. But it was okay. It was okay.
It was a Big Mac?
It was a
Was it
Big
just
Mac and fries,
and fries? Oh,
cold Big Mac, cold fries, and a Coke.
you're not a fan though, I hear, right?
Not particularly, no, no, no. I mean, it's okay. I eat it. I'll go hungry, so I eat it. I've not eaten a Big Mac since the mid-90s.
So, do you feel like are you losing weight? Do you feel healthy? Do you feel like this is mentally healthy? How do you feel overall about this whole experience, the impact that's having on you physically and mentally?
Overall, I'd say I'm okay. Overall, getting those bits of bad news about the tests as a little trough, I guess, in my mood. but I try and fight my way out of that pretty quickly because I don't see it as being very productive for me. It's not good for me for any more than 5 minutes or whatever. So I try and fight my way out of that. Physically, I think I am starting to lose a little bit of weight now. I've always battled with losing weight, to be honest. But yeah, there's a little bit dropping. I have noticed there's a little bit dropping.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sticking with my exercise routine every morning. So, you know, physically, mentally, and overall, I am okay. All right. I might have a little trough in my mood here and there, you know, and just to think, you know, what am I doing here? What's this all about?
Mm-hmm.
But I fight it off quickly. I fight it off really quickly.
I think the thing that would frustrate me most would be the lack of communications, the lack of understanding, not being able to really engage in a dialogue with someone there about, okay, why are the tests coming back negative? Just to talk, why are the tests coming back positive? What's it going to take to get a negative test? Are your tests different than anyone else's? All the questions that I think I would have, and not being able to ask anyone those questions. You have no one to ask questions.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I've tried to ask, you know, little questions before. You know, I mean, it's a bit of a daft question, but when do you think I'll be negative? And they just say, "Oh, we don't know. We hope you get well soon." And it's very, very short answers to anything that I ask. Yesterday, I asked for some information when I do leave for proof that I've been here. You know, for anything that crops up in the future, whether it be insurance or whatever it might be, just so I've got a record of what's happened here. And even that, they didn't really have an answer. They just said, we can provide some test results. And it was very difficult, really difficult to converse with them, you know, over this text media.
So every communication you have with anyone there is by text?
Yeah.
Nothing else?
Nothing. The only time I speak to anybody is when they come to take the sample for the test. And it's just a quick hello, and it's hello, open your mouth and get ready for this.
Let's talk about the test. Here we're seeing tests using a swab that goes up into the nostril way back. What are they doing when they test you?
Yeah, there's a swab test that goes up the nose, and it goes right. It's painful. It's awful. And they also take a throat swab as well, which that's just uncomfortable. The one up the nose is dreadful. It's dreadful. I've had it 9 times now, and I'm not getting used to it. It's awful. It really is awful.
When the person comes in, is it one person, and are they suited up?
Yeah, they're fully suited. So they come to the door. I get a message saying that the medical team will be around at approximately whatever time. Be ready. And I have to go to the door with my mask on. I have to open my window fully. And the door's open fully. And there's 2 people there. And one obviously is assisting the other. One takes a sample and passes it over to the other person, who puts it in a test tube, and with a little label with my name and a number on. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, and there's no small talk or anything. It's just hello, good morning, or whatever. And that's it. So all within 2 or 3 minutes, it's over. The door's closed. I'm back in my room again. Well, yeah, I'm locked in my room again.
So the text that they've given you so far is the only form of test result you have. Are they saying they're going to give you something more in response to your request for some documentation that you've been there, or is that vague as well?
It's vague. Yeah, it is vague. Sort of like the way that conversation was left was, the text message, something said, "I will look to see," and that was it. Mm-hmm. So I'll bring it up again.
The text doesn't tell you who. The text doesn't have a name and a title or any indication of who you're speaking to.
No, it's imagine like a WhatsApp, but it's been set up where the name of the person is medical center. So all you know is you've had a message from medical center. You've sent a message that's been read by medical center, and so forth.
So you're going to wait 7 days and then get another test. That could be
Yeah,
positive. That could be
yeah,
negative. If it's negative, you have to get one the next day. So you need two negatives, right?
yeah. And the other thing that's happened twice now is an inconclusive test. Now that's another thing that gets thrown in the mix. There's three outcomes to the test now that I can recognise, and it's a positive, a negative, and an inconclusive. If it's inconclusive, then I have another test 48 hours after the inconclusive sample was taken. So that adds on another 2 days again. So that's what's happened this time, actually. I had a test yesterday, and that was because my test on Monday was inconclusive. So I had to wait 2 days, 48 hours to have another test. So it's,
I feel your frustration for sure. And
yeah,
I know that you always say that you're a glass half full person,
yeah,
but
yeah.
these are tough times.
Yeah, I mean, dealing with the frustration, what I try and do is I kind of try and ignore it. I ignore it because if I think about it, there's nothing I can do about it. I can't do anything. So I just have to try and ignore it, and it just has to take its course. I've been advised by the embassy that I'm to follow the Korean protocol that surrounding all this, which I get that. I'm a visitor in a foreign country. That's fine. I follow their rules. I'm a strong believer of that. So yeah, any frustrations or anything like that, I just have to just fight it off. With the meals as well, there's something that I'm not keen on the meals. It's there's no sending it back and asking for something different. It's that and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I just get on with it, kind of thing.
So looking ahead and thinking about this experience, are you documenting what you're going through so that you can look back on this and share this experience down the road?
I mean, there's things going on Facebook. I did think about writing stuff down, but to be honest, I mean, outside of having a few conversations with friends and a few text messages with people I know and friends and family, nothing happens. There's nothing much to document.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's just another day in paradise.
It's pretty quiet. Yeah, I hear you. It's just a waiting game, really, to wait and
Yeah,
see what happens and to
nothing
hope for the
happens.
best. Yeah, I
Yeah,
understand that. Yeah. And, when we last spoke, you did say that you felt very grateful that even though you were testing positive, that you weren't ill.
yeah, yeah,
And I think that's something to just keep remembering, that
yeah,
what if you were there testing positive and you were ill?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm getting still again no symptoms. Nothing's going downhill. So yeah, I'm thankful for that. It could be a lot worse. It could be. So
It could be a lot worse. You could not even have technology to talk to friends and family and just sit in that room and not be
oh
connected to the rest of the world
yeah, that doesn't bear
and be sick at
thinking
the
about.
same time. So we'll keep thinking about all the reasons why it's not as bad as it could be. And hopefully that'll
Yeah,
lift
yeah.
your spirits and help you get through the rest of this. Do you, Mark, knowing what I said to you about how people are feeling like they should be able to just go out and live their lives, and there are people saying they don't want to wear a mask, they want the stores to be open, they want to get a haircut, they want just to have their freedom back, and they don't want the government telling them that they should stay home. Is there anything you want to say, uh, anything that could help put it in perspective for other folks?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's funny you should say that. I have had a similar conversation with a friend not that long ago regarding this. I mean, first, I don't know the answer. I really don't know the answer. All I can say is what I personally am experiencing and where I am. And the only correlation I can make is how strict South Korea have been with all of this, and how that's reflected in their figures. That's all I can say. And if we compare that with, say, the UK or the States or Italy, maybe, there's a massive, massive difference in the numbers, and there's a massive, massive difference in how it's being dealt with. And that's quite plain to see. I don't know, like the writing's on the wall there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you know that I'm going to stay in touch with you and check back and find out how you're doing and how the next test goes. And I do say, keep that positive attitude that you've had all along, because I think it has carried you very well through this, and it might get hard at times, but I think it's serving you well.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm going to stick with it. I'm not. There's no faltering yet. I'm still good and strong. I'm good yet. I'm still good.
Okay, my friend. Be well, and I look forward to following up with you in the very near future.
Okay then. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Bye.